Today's project is repainting cabinet doors. I'm going to take you through the process. So I bought this cabinet off of Facebook for $75. It came also with a porcelain sink, which I was really happy about. I took the drawers out, of course, and the doors off so that I could paint the cabinet. And I decided to, it was brown stain, I decided to paint inside and out of the cabinet. Just so that, you know, it just looks nice and looks new when you open up the doors and everything looks nice and white. Here are the two doors from that cabinet that I bought. You can see the original color of the wood. I don't like the dark wood. I wanted a nice bright white color in my bathroom. But I was happy that the doors are a nice style and it is solid wood. First off, this is a stained wood and it does have a varnish finish. I am going to use my mouse sander to basically remove that varnish finish. I don't care about removing the stain completely because I'm going to paint right over it, but I do want to get off this varnish so that my paint will adhere nicely. I even see a drip right there. Well, I'll be able to sand that off. But I'm going to sand this all down. I can use the mouse sander on the flat surfaces, but I'm probably going to have to use a little hand sandpaper around the routed edges. So these doors are going to take a little bit more work, and this routed edge here. The doors are going to take a little bit more work to sand, but it's going to be worth it in the end because I'll have a nice looking cabinet. I paid $75 for the cabinet. It came with a nice sink, a porcelain sink, and it's got two drawers. And it's going to look so much better in my bathroom, a lot nicer than what I had before. So come along and we'll go through the process of painting cabinet doors. So using the mouse sander, I have taken off the varnish on the flat surfaces. On the edges, I'm using these little pieces. Now I could attach it to that, but it's just a little bit of light sanding. So I can use this bent one right here on the edge, or I can use it right here, that way or this way, to take off the varnish. This is rounded. That's also very good for doing the edge. I can either do it this way or this way, so I can get the varnish off most of it. I didn't get it all off. I got most of it off. I need to do the front and the back, and it's okay about the stain. I don't worry about that. That's going to be painted. But you can see the varnish is still on this. I need to take the varnish off of this door so that the paint will stick to the wood. It won't stick to the varnish very well, so that's why it's important to get the varnish off. That white powder is the varnish coming off, and you have to wipe it to see how well you're doing, to see whether or not you got the shine off. Sometimes you look at it, you can see there's still a little bit there. The side looks pretty good. Well, there's a little bit here. Still see a little bit there. The edge this way. I could attach it to that, but I'm just going to do it by hand because it really says I don't want to take the risk of putting any extra marks on the wood that I don't want there. So you get the idea. What we want to do is wipe all the dust, if there's any sawdust from the sanding. Now this one, these doors happen to be solid wood. They're not that particle board like the other cabinet doors were. I did not bother to sand the other cabinet because they're just particle board with like a paper covering on them. I just painted them just like they were. But this is actual wood. So I had to take off the varnish before. Now this rag was a damp rag. Now I'm going to let those dry before I start painting. The type of paint that I'm using is enamel, and it's designed for cabinets. It is an oil-based paint. And what I love about it is it goes on really smooth. Now, I'll have to paint this twice. So, this is just the first coat. I did decide to only paint the one side last night and let it dry. I did do 2 coats. And then this morning I looked at it and I said, you know, it could use 1 more coat. So I painted it 1 more time. It's almost dry. I'm going to wait until it's thoroughly dry before I flip it over, because where it sits down, sometimes you get a little mark there, and I'm probably going to sand that before I paint the other side. So I think it's just best to let it be thoroughly dry, like let it sit overnight. That way, when you flip it over, you have a dry surface. And when you're done painting, you want to make sure you kind of go around with your finger and catch any little drips, because it's those little drips that's going to stick there, and it'll leave something on the other side. See, there's a little drip right there. Now, I might want to sand those before I paint that, but the rest of it looks pretty good. But the paint dries really smooth. Enamel is really awesome for painting cabinet doors, but it's a pain to clean up afterwards. But the results are so wonderful, and I'm just really pleased with it. So I'm probably going to wait till this evening, because I got stuff going on in my life, classes to teach and other things I have to get done. But probably tonight this will be thoroughly dry, and I'll turn them over and I'll start painting the other side. And then in the morning I will give us probably a third coat on the back side, and then those doors will be ready to add to the cabinet, which is right there. That's all painted and ready to be installed. The new bathroom sink has been installed. So here's my new bathroom. We have a porcelain sink installed with the new cabinet, and the floor is tiled, and I put wainscoting on the walls. The color helps go with the vintage theme, so I have some vintage family photos from different events where we dressed in costumes for parties or events. And I'm really happy with the way it all turned out. I still need to do something with the mirror, but yeah, it looks great. I'm really glad that this part of it fit right up underneath my chair rail that I created. And yes, the wainscoting goes all the way around the bathroom.